Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Kroc's 10th birthday bash. Thank you all for being here. And we're here to celebrate God's faithfulness to the Salvation Army in Ashland, but also God's faithfulness to Ashland through the Salvation Army. So thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We'd like to recognize and thank all of our advisory board members that are here with us. And also we have our city councilman, Dan Lawson, here with us and his wife, Judy. So thank you so much for being here. And we'd also like to thank and recognize Majors Joanne and Larry Shade, if they would stand, as they were the officers here as the Kroc Center was first imagined and built and opened. Thank you so much for being here today. And we honor your continuing legacy here at the Kroc Center today. We'd also like to thank and recognize Majors Evan and Suzanne Hickman, who are the divisional leaders for all of Northeastern Ohio for the Salvation Army, who have joined us this afternoon today. So Majors Hickman, thank you. And without further ado, we're so glad to have Mayor Matt Miller and Melanie with us, and Mayor Miller will come and share some words with us today. Thank you for coming.
All right, it's a good day to live in the city of Ashland. Every day is a good day to live in the city of Ashland, right? Do you live here in Ashland? And hopefully you think it's getting better every day. But let me tell you, Ashland wasn't always the same place. There was a day not too long ago when we didn't even know what a Kroc Center was. And in fact, some of you, and I know some of you remember what the Salvation Army used to look like in the city of Ashland. Does anyone remember the Salvation Army building built in the 1930s over behind the Times-Gazette? There's a few hands back here. Well, let me tell you, if you never saw it, it's a lot different than the Kroc Center. Just a few more years back in history, there was a Salvation Army building that was about 3 stories high, built of brick, and much, much smaller than a Kroc Center. And it was a good place that did good things for this community. But then the day came. We had the opportunity as a city, as a community, to compete to win a Kroc Center for the Ashland community. Now, we all call it the Kroc Center. And some of you may already know it, but why do we call it a Kroc Center? We call it a Kroc Center because it's named after Ray and Joan Kroc. And Ray and Joan Kroc are the couple who founded McDonald's restaurants. And all those cheeseburgers, all those fries, and all those milkshakes that they sold over the years, as you might imagine, it made them a little bit of money. And one day, Joan Kroc decided she wanted to make sure that she used a lot of that money to help people all across America. So she decided she would give the Salvation Army $1.5 billion. That's a lot of milkshakes, a lot of hamburgers, a lot of Big Macs, and even a few McFlurries. $1.5 billion. And she said, I'm willing to give you this money, Salvation Army, but if I give you this money, here's what you need to do with it. You need to go into cities that can't afford to have a state-of-the-art entertainment and community center, and you need to build them one that will be made specially for what their community needs. She built the first one in California, in San Diego. And she said, I want it to have a wow factor, something that really strikes people as, can you believe this? And so in San Diego, she built an indoor ice hockey arena. And as she started building her centers through the help of the Salvation Army all across America, they decided they would ask all of the communities in America, who wants a Kroc Center and why should you have one? Well, after a whole lot of work and a whole lot of explaining, a stack of paperwork about that big, Ashland, Ohio was chosen to have a Kroc Center. And let me tell you something. When we were chosen, the other cities that had a Kroc Center were San Diego, San Francisco, Atlanta, Georgia, and Ashland, Ohio. That's right, that's right. Can you believe that? So anytime you start to wonder whether or not you live in a great city, you just remember that story. People from all around this country recognize this is a pretty good place to call home. So we were chosen. We were chosen to build a community center with an indoor soccer field that didn't exist in the city of Ashland, with arts classrooms, with music classrooms, and even meeting rooms that could serve all sorts of groups throughout the community. I believe it was roughly a $12 million facility. It was all a gift to the city of Ashland. And here we are 10 years later, and look, we're still full of people meeting needs here in the community. One of our wow factors, of course, was our outdoor splash park. Have any of you ever played at the outdoor splash park? A lot of hands, a lot of hot summer days out there. That's what's kept you cool and kept your summer special here in Ashland. But you know what? When we first got a Kroc Center and we were telling the community about it, we put together a campaign to get you excited. And here's what our campaign said. It's the Ashland Salvation Army Kroc Corps Community Center, and we want you to catch the spirit of faith. Why faith? Because at the core and heart of everything the Salvation Army does, everything that happens here at the Kroc Center, is our faith in the Lord Jesus Christ. That's why when we built the center, when you come in the front doors, what's the first thing you see straight ahead? A beautiful chapel where Sunday morning services are held every Sunday here in Ashland. And of course, thanks to the hearts of Larry and Joanne Shade and their vision, a beautiful stained glass window, one of the most spectacular in Ashland, adorns the entry when you come into this Kroc Center. Catch the spirit of faith. Catch the spirit of hope. Why hope? Because let's face it, at the Kroc Center, every day can be better than the one before it. And at that time, when we were telling you as a community that we were going to get a Kroc Center, it was still just a picture in people's minds. Catch the spirit of hope of what the new Kroc Center will represent. And you know what? Here in a little bit, you're going to hear that the vision continues. There's every reason to still catch that spirit of faith, catch that spirit of hope, and the final word, catch that spirit of excitement, because it's good to be chosen. 12 years ago when we were chosen, before the Kroc Center was built, it was good to be chosen. We were competing with the big dogs, San Diego, San Francisco, Atlanta, Georgia, and Ashland, Ohio. And you know what? Here just a few years ago, a group of local leaders from Ashland, with the help of the Salvation Army, went to New York, to the headquarters of the Salvation Army, and once again had to make our case why Ashland should be the place where the Kroc Center gets even better. And today you're going to hear that once again, the Salvation Army Kroc Center in Ashland was chosen. So as I close my comments today, I want you to remember, today, catch the spirit of faith, hope, and excitement. Because it's a great day at the Salvation Army Kroc Center as we celebrate our 10th anniversary, but it's just about ready to get even better. And under each of these gifts that you see up here, wrapped in this pretty paper, wrapped in these bows, here in a few minutes, you're going to find out why it gets even better here at the Salvation Army Kroc Center and in our Ashland community. Now, let me tell you, now's time for the official business. The Ohio Senate President, Larry Obhoff, could not be here, but he asked that we present to the Salvation Army today an official proclamation from the Ohio Senate. I won't read it all to you, but I'll read one statement here because it sums up what's happened here over the last decade. Throughout the past decade, the Salvation Army Ray and Joan Kroc Corps Community Center has worked to improve the quality of life in our society, and its generous contributions have earned it the gratitude and respect of many. This is a prestigious center that has offered countless remarkable service programs to people of all ages. And as the state of Ohio, we recognize this outstanding gift to the Ashland community. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here for the birthday party of the Kroc Center. 10 years later, and the center still sparkles, and soon it'll be even better. Thank you.
And now we're going to invite all of our 2019 SAS Kroc Soccer League winners to come up onto the stage. Come quickly, make your way right up either these center or side stairs, and Mayor Miller would like to acknowledge your great accomplishment and shake your hand and get your picture with you as well. So come on up, and let's give them all a round of applause. All right, I think the cameraman's coming. One more, come on up, come on up. All right, smile. Yes, you're welcome. On Monday through Friday here at the Salvation Army, we have an after-school program we call the Learning Zone, and they get to do all sorts of different electives. They get to learn their homework, maybe get help with different schoolwork. They can learn art or sewing or a different kind of sports, and we even have a Zumba class. So, would you give a round of applause and welcome our after-school Zumba girls?
Generation. Junior! Fix it! We gonna run this town. We gonna shake it down. Hey. We gonna run this town. Yes. We gonna shake it down. We gonna run this town. We gonna shake it down. Yeah. We gonna run this town. Everybody hooray! Sing it for the feeling nice. Hey, 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 hey. Say oh yeah! We'll be for the feeling right. Know to make a bacchanal. Look fast, but set up a tent. This is a cooler carnival. Full the